All right, so now we're going to do another example. And in this example, we're going to use another technique of basically of squaring, right? And putting into quadratic form. Okay, so this is going to involve squaring and converting into the quadratic form. So again, this is what we have. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is in this case here, we're going to square both sides. Okay, so when we square both sides, what do we get? We're going to get a quadratic over here, right? So we're going to square both sides. And so over here we're going to get cosine squared x plus 2 cosine x plus 1 equals sine squared x. Now, why did I do that? Well, one, I got this quadratic over here, and I've got a sine squared x over here, which now I can use the Pythagorean identity to get this in terms of cosine. Okay, so now let's do that. So now it becomes cosine squared x plus 2 cosine x plus 1 is now equal to what? This is going to be 1 minus cosine squared x. Okay? Now I'm going to move everything over to the left side of the equal sign. So I'm going to add cosine squared x and I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. So subtract 1 and I'm going to add cosine squared x. So these cancel, and what do I end up with? I end up with 2 cosine squared x plus 2 cosine x equal to 0. And now I can factor out a cosine x, 2 cosine x actually. So 2 cosine x times the quantity cosine x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now I get to use the zero product principle, so that means that 2 cosine x is equal to 0, or cosine x plus 1 is equal to 0. And what does that give me? That tells me what? That says, well, cosine x equals 0, or what? Cosine x is equal to negative 1. Now, on the interval from 0 to 2 pi, when is the cosine, what angle is the cosine equal to 0? Okay, now this is a pi over 2. Okay, so this is pi over 2. So cosine is 0, right? Think of the unit circle. So cosine is 0 right, at 90 degrees, or pi over 2. So this implies that x equals pi over 2. Now, when is cosine negative 1 though? Cosine is negative 1 at pi, right? So that implies x is equal to pi. And so those are your two solutions. So x equals pi over 2 and pi. And those are the solutions to the trigonometric equation. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. I missed one. it's not just 0 here. Where is it 0? Else is it 0? Remember, it's pi over 2, but it comes back up, and that would be at pi over 2 plus pi, which would be 3 pi over 2. Okay, sorry, I missed one. Oops, so gotta add this one. So 3 pi over 2. Okay? All right, now those are the 3 answers. So always be careful. Double check your work. All right, so now, now what you want to do is, because we squared, okay, because we squared the original equation, you want to make sure that you look for extraneous solutions. Okay, so you check any solutions in the original equation to determine whether they are valid or extraneous. Okay. Yeah, so anytime you square the original equation like we did here to try to solve it, always make sure that you check these 3 to make sure that there's no extraneous solutions. Okay, and that's it, I think. Okay, so actually, you know what? Let's check these. Let's go ahead and check these. So pi over 2. Let's go back to the original. Yeah, you know what? Let's just check them. Because you should, and I'm going to. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to the original equation, and let's just check to make sure that these solutions work. So let's use pi over 2. Okay? So cosine of pi over 2 plus 1 equals sine of pi over 2. Okay. Cosine of pi over 2, right? Cosine of 90 degrees is 0. So we get 0 plus 1 equals sine of pi over 2 is 1. So we get 1 equals 1. Check. All right, let's check the next one. So let's check pi. Okay, let's do pi. So now we're going to do cosine of pi plus 1 equals sine of pi. Okay, the cosine of pi is -1 plus 1 equals the sine of pi, which is 0. So this gives us 0 is equal to 0. That is true. So that passes. Okay, now let's check 3 pi over 2. So cosine of 3 pi over 2 plus 1 equals sine of 3 pi over 2. Okay, now 3 pi over 2, cosine of 3 pi over 2, oops, hold on, forgot my 1. So the cosine of 3 pi over 2, right, is 0. And the sine of 3 pi over 2, right? What's the sine of 3 pi over 2? Well, this is going down, so this is going to be -1. So now we get 1 equals -1. Ooh, I'm glad we checked. I'm glad we checked. Boom, boom, boom. Doesn't work. Does not work. So that means of the three possible solutions, so at this point here, these are only possible solutions. So once we check them, the only solutions that we actually have is pi over 2 and pi. So this one is wrong. So I was right the first time. It's just pi over 2 and pi. But anytime, like I said, so this is good because anytime you have to square both sides in order to solve it, always check for extraneous solutions at the end. So now we'll go on to the next one.